And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to this segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. If you've tuned in earlier today, the first hour and the first couple of segments of this hour's broadcast, you've heard me mention that Mike Yager is going to be joining us from Effingham, Illinois, where Mike and his team and thousands of Corvette owners are celebrating the 25th annual Corvette Funfest. So without further ado, it is my pleasure and my privilege to bring my friend on, Mike Yager, live from Effingham, Illinois. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Bobby. You know, I'm sitting here in the middle of the Corvette Fun Dome, so I can get the ambiance of people in the background and your melodious voice on the other side. So how's that for a start?
Well, it just couldn't be any better. And folks, before this gentleman takes the mic, which he will do, I want to tell you just a little bit about him. August the 31st this year, Mike Yager was inducted into the Corvette Museum's Corvette Hall of Fame. And that is no trivial pursuit. Mike, I couldn't think of anyone that even could qualify other than, Dora Arcus Duntov for that award.
Well, let me tell you, to be put in the same category as Zora is just something so unbelievable. And I'm still on cloud nine over such an honor.
Well, as it should be. Tell us what's going on in Effingham and give us the 30,000-foot view of the annual Corvette Funfest. I understand this is your 25th anniversary.
Bobby, it's 25 years. We've got thousands of Corvettes here, tens of thousands of Corvette people walking around the grounds. We're doing installs. We got seminars going on. We got fashion shows. Just you name something that goes on with Corvette and Corvette people, and we're doing it here at Corvette Funfest.
So Mike, give us a rundown. What's the oldest Corvette that you might have on the grounds? And then also share with us, when I say the grounds, folks, we're not talking about a football field or a parking lot here. How many acres does your event cover, Mike?
170 acres of flat Midwest property, all green grass and full of Corvettes. And
I can only imagine the picture. So what's the oldest vet that might be there?
Well, what I have seen so far was a 58 Corvette, a guy that's owned for 47 years. Now, I heard someone say there was a 54 here, but I haven't personally seen it yet.
And, of course, you're talking about 2018 Corvettes. You mentioned you're in the Dome. What is the Dome?
Well, since you've been here, we built a 7,500 square feet big open-air domes where we do installs and do all of our product sales. And right now in southern Illinois, we're about 65 degrees, so it's a little bit chilly here this morning. So a lot of activity of people buying jackets and sweatshirts.
So the installs that you're speaking to, Mike, those are like aftermarket exhaust parts for Corvettes and such?
Full header systems, exhaust. We do the Expel body wrap film for chip protection. We're doing window tints. They install stereos. We're virtually installing every product that we sell that doesn't require, multiple hours of downtime for the car.
So let me see here. We have SEMA, which is the largest, show in the world, on one hand, and we have Mike Yager's Mid-America Motorworks Corvette Funfest on. What you're doing reminds me of identically, and you and I have, of course, spent time together at SEMA, but you're actually bringing that to Effingham and to your Corvette enthusiast.
Well, we're firm believers that we want to educate our customers on how the product works on their car, so they're able to watch the installs, talk to the manufacturers, and they just get a lot more up close and personal attention. And, you and I both know you want your customer to buy the right product. I'm not into sales. I'm into selling the right product for the right reasons to a customer. So a year from now, 5 years from now, they're still happy with their purchase.
So let's back up. We know that we're 25 years in the making of the Funfest, but isn't it true that 45 years ago you created and founded Mid-America Motorworks?
It'll be 45 years this February 24th, and honest to God, I've been the most blessed person that's walked the face of the earth. You know my story. I borrowed $500 to start this business. We're now sitting here on a campus of 170 acres with about 130,000 square feet of office, distribution, museum, and manufacturing space. And today we're thanking the tens of thousands of customers that support us year in and year out and over those past 45 years.
Well, customer support is important. I know that, having been in business 47 years myself. But that's a two-way street, and the relationships that are built one service at a time. So to that end, if I'm a Corvette, if I own a Corvette and I want to go to America Motorworks online and buy a part, when I talk to one of your technicians, I mean, walk us through what happens if I'm not quite sure what I want, but I want to update or personalize my Corvette. How do you communicate?
Whether you're the customer or someone internal in sales, we can search our website by year, by model, and all a customer has to do is give us an idea of what they're needing, what area of the car, and we can do the online search and find it. I mean, we sell over 80,000 different parts for Corvettes. So we get a lot of requests for a lot of strange things, but, to the customer, that one item they need is not strange. Lots of parts on vintage Corvettes.
Let's shift gears just a minute. We know that you started 45 years ago on a shoestring, and you've grown that company throughout the years. And you and your family with and folks. Lori is Mike's wife's name. Blake is his youngest son, and Michael, of course, is your oldest son. Give us just your story on the family. How's the family, and who's married?
Well, both boys are married. I've got 3 grandchildren, 2 grandsons, and a granddaughter. We're all involved in the business. Even my daughter-in-laws are involved in the business. Years ago, I used to think I want to be a corporation, whatever that means. I don't want to be a family business. But as time goes by, you really realize the value of family and how you want to help teach that next generation that hard work and that passion for a product will give you great rewards in life. And, so many people think success in life is dollars, but success is being happy. And I got to tell you, I'll be 69 in November, and people say, "Are you ever going to retire?" And I said, "Well, tell me, when you retire, what do you do?" And they go, "Oh, that's the part of your life that you get to do what you want to do." And I said, "Well, I've been doing that for 45 years. I want to be with Corvettes and Corvette people. So I'm thinking I'm going to retire when I'm about 96. So I've got a few more years of rocking and rolling, so to speak, in the Corvette world."
Well, you've certainly led the pack. And in fact, folks, in 2003, which was many years ago, when we actually traveled to Effingham and produced our car clinic program there, I met, who has since retired, the manager of the Corvette assembly plant there in Bowling Green. What was his name, Mike?
Will Cooksey, and he's actually here today. We're always blessed with a lot of people that have been involved with the Corvette platform over the years, and they're the men and women that have made this car the success that it is, and they always come up and support us at Corvette Funfest.
And you always support them and invite them. Give us your vision, just in a few words, of the museum that had the floor that caved in.
Oh, well, that's the National Corvette Museum.
Right.
And, that is the absolutely best place to go and look at Corvettes. I mean, I obviously want everybody on my campus, but our family has been a strong supporter of the National Corvette Museum. I was on the board for 6 years and then spent an additional 2 years as chairman of the board. So the National Corvette Museum is just a phenomenal place to go and visit and learn the history of Corvette.
So I understand that a couple of those cars weren't even hurt at all, and that one was so crushed that they left it. And are they on site?
They have restored a couple of them, and then most of them they have left the way they came out of the sinkhole, and they're damaged and dirty. And they've done, the old expression, when life pitches you lemons, you make lemonade, and they've made lemonade out of it. And it's really an important attraction of the museum now.
let's shift one more gear. What's the latest option on the newest Corvette? And also, off the record or on the record, doesn't matter to me, Mike. I want to hear about the mid-engine Corvette. That's got to open a complete. When I think of Ferrari, which I had the privilege to own the mid-engine, and I think about a Corvette, and I've always said that Corvette is the biggest bang for the buck coming out of Detroit with regard to a sports car. Would you agree with that? Well,
of course I agree with that. And you know what? For next year or the year after, whenever the new model Corvette is released, it's still going to be the top of the world. We hear rumors that everybody hears rumors on the mid-engine Corvette, and we've heard rumors that they'll be doing both a mid-engine and a front-engine rear-wheel drive, but the strongest rumors that I hear is it's going to be a midship platform, and that's going to be the only car that they make. I also hear that the entry-level price of that car is going to be in the $60,000 range, which is just absolutely phenomenal.
Well, I'm sorry. That is phenomenal, and that is therein lies, Mike. And from a businessman's standpoint, the biggest mistake that Dodge made, because I had a new Viper, and then later years when I thought maybe I'd get another new Viper, the Viper went from a decent price of somewhere in the 60s, 70s, 80s to over $120,000, and they actually never had success with the Vipers coming back out at that high price. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, and certainly the Corvette marketing people are aware of that. That's why they say, we're going to have a car priced at an entry level, and that's going to be one whale of a powerful car, all the way up to probably a car in the 160 to 170. But there's going to be a range, not a specific price point, if that makes sense.
It does. I want to also now ask you about the historical support that you've provided for charitable organizations. I know because I was there one night, and you couldn't visit with me because you and Lori had a charitable organization to go to. What's going on this year in that arena?
Well, about a year and a half ago, we got involved with the St. Jude's Corvette Drive out of Peoria, Illinois. And this is a Corvette club and some Corvette people that decided to make St. Jude's their charity of choice. And over the 7 years of the drive, that group, and when I say that group, we're talking about at the very early years, 10 cars up to this year, 67 cars, have raised over $1 million just for St. Jude's. Well, I'm now involved in the board, and we have a goal over the next 5 years of raising $2.6 million over the course of a year through the Corvette community and donating it on it's like the third weekend in May, where we all drive to Memphis, tour the hospital, and make a donation. And, my goal, my vision, my dream is that the Corvette community in one day can sponsor the cost of running St. Jude's Hospital.
Well, hats off to you. A great admiration from person to person. But also, folks, this gentleman is truly not the CEO, the founder, the president. This man is the chief cheerleader for his team. And I can tell you, Mike, that in my various stages of my business career, I have found that I too have been the happiest when I was deeply involved, as I am every day now, with my operation and with knowing the challenges and how to meet those challenges. And you've done that same thing repeatedly, and at the same time you've cared for your family and included them in the business. So hats off to you. And folks, this gentleman operates, as I said, Mid-America Motorworks is where you find quality aftermarket parts and accessories for Corvettes. And also, I wouldn't want to let people know, I want to let them know about the air-cooled VW. You have a lot of parts for the air-cooled VW, but today we're talking about the annual Corvette Funfest. And Mike, it's great as always to hear from you, and that success breeds success, and that's directly from your input, and I applaud you for that.
Well, Bobby, you know, we both have a lot of admiration for each other. I know what you do in your end of the world for the automotive enthusiasts, the automotive world, and we like to think we've got the same energy and product knowledge that you do on your end of the street.
So if somebody needs parts for their Corvette, regardless of the age of their Corvette, where do they go?
www.mamotorworks.com. Pretty easy.
Yep.
Or they can call 1-800-500-1500 and request a catalog.
Terrific. So, folks, there you have it. There's the latest from Effingham, Illinois. Mike, I'll let you get back to all of your clients, but your guests there. It's great to have you on Bobby Likis Car Clinic, and I wish you continued success, sincerely, from me to you. Thank you so much for your time and for sharing your life with us today on Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Well, Bobby, it's an honor and a privilege to be on the air with you.
And I thank you so much.
Thank you, Bobby.
Bye. So, it's kind of, I think, maybe embarrassed him just a little bit. He truly is a neat fellow that I know personally. Folks, that's all the time that we have for today's broadcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week, 10 to noon Eastern Time, Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Like us, you'll love us.
This is Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is a copyrighted presentation of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated and may not be reproduced or rebroadcast without the express written approval of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated.